What's up guys, Joe here, welcome back to my channel, and today we are back with more T-Mobile Bianchi here on PCM20, and we start the day with some fantastic news because Mario Schmid is back from injury. However, we will not hang around today because we have the Volta at Portugal, 11 stages in Portugal of course. We have a very short TT to start, but if I scroll through, a right mix of hilly, mountain and some flatter stages, this is going to be a super fun race and we're going to play it all in this episode. 11 stages in total, and adding to that we do have the transfer period coming around as soon as we are in August, so we should have some big transfer news in this episode. So we get underway with a very short prologue, 1.7 kilometers, but taking a look at our squads for the race, we are led by Gino Marza and Giovanni Aliotti. We also have Georg Zimmermann, Markus Wildauer, Jonas Rutsch and Markus Burkhardt alongside Sebastian Schoenberger to make up our 7-man squad. So we have Markus Wildauer starting his TT. I think we just need to go 99 for the entire race. Looking at the start list, you can see we have the likes of Almeida, Bagioli, Velasov is here for Astana as Wildauer finishes in 14th for the moment. Quinn Simmons is here as well alongside the likes of Dunbar, Gegenhardt. It's a very strong race actually with Trek, Mitchelton, Scott, EF as well, bringing some very good riders. So Larson gets underway and our final man to leave the start line, Gino Marza, with a very lovely +3 day. You can see all our riders aren't really anywhere close. Burkhardt the closest to Brent Bookwalter, who has the best time so far, but Gino Marza crosses the line 4 seconds down. Up next then, one of the big favourites for the race, Alex Vlasov. Look at these guys' stats, 77 resistance already, and Vlasov crosses the line some way down though, right here, but Remy Cavagna in that very nice French champions jersey for Quickstep. Where does he go? He's some way down as well, and Brent Bookwalter takes the win. So stage 2 and one of the flattest stages of the race, coming into Albufeira. Very nice place if you haven't been, but Ballerini is the favourite for today's sprint. Let's get into it. So sadly our sprinter Wildauer not feeling good at all today. This is going to be a difficult stage. It's been a steady stage so far. Then we have just these 3 riders up the road. They only have 3 minutes and this is pretty set to be a mass sprint. Here we go then, 9k to go in this stage, and it's the battle between Alpecin and T-Mobile for the front of the peloton. Burkhardt is just about losing it right now, but we have a massive Alpecin Phoenix train. I don't think I've ever seen a train that big on PCM by the AI at least. However, Burkhardt can maybe go to 95, on a downhill actually, so he can go 99 already, and now this is the point where we come right to the front of the group and leading out Wildauer to perfection right now, I would say, but still 4k to go and we don't really have the perfect lead out men in this train, but Burkhardt is now done into the final 3 kilometers. Zimmermann 64 sprint, he's far from the best lead out man, but we can have sprints with Jonas Rutsch, Zimmermann as well. We'll try and go right now with Markus Wildauer, everyone else too. Wildauer, can he take it? He's not going to be close today, and it is going to be Davide Martinelli, is it, just ahead of Ballerini. So Martinelli beating his old team Quickstep here. And so we see here Wildauer is not feeling well and Aliotti has some discomfort in his Achilles tendon. That is very worrying. Maybe I should pull him out of the race if that continues. Right, so we do now get the options to re-sign with a new sponsor. Of course, we're going to stay with T-Mobile Bianchi right here, and hopefully this budget really can increase over time. So luckily, Aliotti no longer feeling that discomfort in his Achilles. However, as you see, Wildauer is struggling, so I may actually pull him out of the race in the next stage. Stage 3 is next though, and we have kind of a false flat punchy little finish to the line. So Wildauer on a -2, I'm going to keep him in for now, and we'll see how he's feeling tomorrow. If he's still on a bad minus day, I will withdraw him from the race, but you can see many riders trying to get in today's break. So guys, we have an interesting scenario taking place right here because we have some very strong crosswinds at the moment in this stage. I've put our guys to the front. Rutsch and Zimmermann can just relay probably at 95. That should be okay. Burkhardt just keeping our guys Aliotti, Marder and Wildauer to the front. Here we go then, 7.5k to go. Our guy's doing a brilliant job right on the front. I think Burkhart can maybe stay at 80. That is fine for now because we need him as soon as we go into that uphill section. Aliotti, Marder and Wildauer are the main goals today. We need to keep those guys in as good a position as possible. We're not trying to gain any time really, but trying to keep all our GC guys to the front and also give Wildauer a chance at the stage. So Burkhart can now go up to 90. We'll try and keep him there. We really are in the prime position in the peloton. No one close to challenging us in the front. So 2.5k to go. We're now coming to the steepest part in this final. So Burkhart's up to 95 and we're looking very good, it must be said. Schoenberger can just pace to the line. Now we have Aliotti up to 99 as Daryl Impey trying to attack away. Aliotti can try and sprint. Marder can try and come now. So can Wildauer. Can our guys try and challenge for the win here? Impey versus Gino Marder. It's so close in the end. And we end up third place behind Sparagli as well. If we went a tiny bit earlier, I think we had this one. What a shame. So Daryl Impey now moves into the leads of the race. Really close here, guys. Wildauer just wasn't strong enough, but Gino Marder looks so good in the final. Just about missing out to the punchier riders, Impey and Sparagli. And here we go, guys. 1st of August is now here. And transfer season is now here. I am so excited for this. We can now finally get to try and sign some riders. Look at the dossiers. And looking at the final dossiers, we have Giddish and Moscon ending up at 55 and 47%. Not too bad, but not great. Hopefully they're interested in talking to us. And I am very excited by this email as well because we can now see where we're going to be ranked ahead of next season. So here we go. Are we going to make it to Conti Pro right now? And for the moment, we are set to make it to Conti Pro level. That is exactly what I was hoping to see here. We need to make sure we're a Conti Pro team next season. First rider we're going to try and re-sign then is Rick Zabel. Obviously, he has been one of our standout performers this season. So Zabel puts pen to paper. He accepts this deal almost for 15 grand a month though. He's currently on 5 grand, so a big increase. I think that's fine though. He's obviously a fantastic rider. Okay, so Ruch happy to re-sign for 4 grand and that is absolutely perfect, saving a lot of budget here whilst re-signing a very talented rider. Alessandro Covi up next then, and 21 years old, definitely want to re-sign this guy. Only 2 points, and it seems he's going to be interested in 2.5k. I'll up it to 3 years, and here we go. He's not happy with the roles, so I will increase this slightly. There we go then. Covi signs. I made him an absolute leader. Hopefully he develops a little bit for that, but just happy to get him re-signed. Bissiger up next then, and we get him happy to re-sign for 6.5k per month. You can see we do have quite a lot of cash remaining and we're increasing our team index here as well. I've now offered contracts then to Covi, Zabel, Bisker and Ruch. We have Zimmerman and Fabro here, who I'm not 100% sure I want to re-sign. At least I'm going to now try and sign the likes of Bagioli, Vermarker, maybe even Moscon right now. Let's see if we can try and sign some new riders. Let's jump in with the big one then. Gianni Moscon, 26 years old. We know he's had some maybe mentality issues in the past. Hopefully we can give him a new start at T-Mobile and he can become a real leader in the team. So we do have a little bit of cash to play with. What I'm going to do is offer 22k, 3 years, absolute leader, and we're almost there. Okay, this is looking better than I expected. I'm going to go to 25k, 25.5k for Gianni Moscon, and we bring in Gianni Moscon for season 2. I did not expect that. Oh my word, guys. So next up, I'm going to contact Giddish from Astana. They do have a few talented Kazakhs, but I think Giddish could be a nice one to bring in. Still just 24 years old and 13 points, it is a lot, but let's see if we can sign him. So he's moderately attracted to the team. We'll offer him 12.5k up front, and he's not too happy with Absolute Sprinter. I'll make him a leader. I'm fine to do that. I'll just try and offer him that actually. We do have a few patience points to play with, but he's going to want some more money. So So you know what, we'll make it a nice round value, 15k for Giddish, and he still doesn't sign. I'll make it 16 to be sure. Do we get the man? Yes, we do. Giddish will be joining T-Mobile Bianchi next season. So we've made some great moves already. 17 points left. We now have the choice between Bagioli, who's very well rounded, but he is now 25, or Kevin Vermarker, who obviously is 19 years old. Not quite the rider that Bagioli is just yet, but this guy could be a star of the future. I'm gonna go for Vermarker first. 73 Hill, 19 years old. Coming from Hagen Berman Axion, who, like I said before, are so well renowned for producing good riders. I think it's only 3 points for Vermarker, so let's open that. He's moderately attracted to the team. I'll make him a leader. We'll go 3 years for now. Maybe we'll offer 4.8. Actually, no, we'll go 3.8. Let's see how he feels about that. There you go, we get Kevin Vermarker, 19 years old, on a 3-year contract. You love to see it. And there is one more rider in this list I'm going to look at signing right now. I've skipped Fabro, I've skipped Bagioli, but I do want to try and sign Georg Zimmermann, who is a very good domestique. If nothing else, he can sprint a little bit. He can get us over all terrains as well. So definitely a no-brainer for me at just 2 points. I think he'll be quite cheap as well, so I'll make him an important rider. We'll go 2 years on him, 2.5k. Let's just see what he says to that. 3k should do the job, and there you go. We bring in Zimmermann for another season. Aye, guys. So we have a shame here because Giddish is going to be too expensive for us, it seems. I can't confirm the deal, so we can't afford that 16k contract. I really wanted to bring him in, but it seems it's not going to be possible, sadly. So firstly, this is a man right here that is being demanded in the comments. Marco Brenner, still 17 years old, very talented, of course. He does have a contract for next season, but you guys know, ahead of 2022, this man will be a priority to sign. Another man here, Fancelli, who does have a contract for next season. You guys have asked me to sign him, but guys, he does have a contract, so we will try and get him ahead of 2022. So then this is the current state of our squad for 2021, bringing in just 2 new riders, letting a few go as well. And I'm on the lookout for a few more, so watch this space. One thing I can say though is that we have now risen to 24th position, and that is a lot higher than we were, really cementing our place hopefully in Conti Pro next year. However, transfers out the way for now. On to stage 4 of the Volta Portugal, another hilly one, quite a difficult stage. Let's get it. So I'm going to try and go in the break with Burghardt today. Why not, as he's on a plus day, but you can see Wildauer slightly feeling a little bit better on a 0 race day, so we'll try and keep him in the race for now. So Burghardt has been in the break to this point, but he has been caught, and I think it's because we do have some riders that have fallen behind. In fact, we have plenty of riders, including Swift, we have Dunbar, Gegenhardt, so a big group of guys from Ineos, and that is the reason for the increased tempo in the peloton, and it seems they're going to keep all of those Ineos guys behind. Oh my word, and look at this tempo, guys. The Ineos boys are long gone. Dunbar, Gegenhardt, they will not be getting back in, that is for sure. We have a super high tempo in the peloton right now. Who is it pacing? I think it's Quickstep pacing on the front, and this pace is just continuing. We're down to 63 riders, still 3k to go to the top, as Fabio Follin now comes to the front. This is going to be a heavily reduced group by the time we get to the top of this climb. So you can see right now, this is the peloton. We have 51 riders, and if we scroll back through the groups, this group with Schoenberger is the one ahead of the Team Ineos boys. We have Amador, Dunbar and Gegenhardt. Of course, if we can get rid of those guys out of the GC battle, that'll be a massive gain for everyone else. Obviously those guys being one of the favourites. And we're even seeing some of the guys like Kort Nielsen, Luke Rowe now getting dropped from that front group due to the super high tempo we're enduring. Quite simply, guys, this tempo is absolute insanity. We have Quinn Simmons now on the front for Trek. We're down to 27 riders in this group. Still 21k to go. Aliossi is almost done. We have Wildsauer, Marder and Jonas Rutsch looking very strong, but down to 26 riders now in the front group. You can see some of the riders here that have now been dropped. So 12k to go in this one. We're down to 18 riders at the front as we see some attacks starting to take place. 11 riders. Look at everyone. Gianluca Brambilla is now struggling to stay in this group. Let's just take position. Almeida, Vlasov are gone. What is happening here in the Volta Portugal? We have 8 riders at the very front. We have Carthy, Schultz, MP, Vakoc here. Wildsauer is still here, so he's doing a brilliant job for us. He can relay at maybe 90 with one more final climb to go. And we are looking super strong here in the GC. I think Rutsch can maybe just protect Gino Marder. We can just sit in this group at 65. Up the roads, Brent Bookwalter is going for the win for Mitchelton Scott. But Gino Marder, I must say, is looking just brilliant on today's stage. Wildsauer will die right there. Riders dropping out the back as Bookwalter cracks after going too early on this stage. This is just crazy. I cannot believe what is happening on this stage. But Gino Marder, can he come to the front? Can we put in a little attack over the top of this climb? We're going to try. Gino Marder dropping Hugh Carthy, Schultz and Impey trying to follow. What a move this is by Gino Marder. Can we get away over the top of this climb? We're going to try. And I think we've won the stage. Nick Schultz struggling to stay with Gino Marder. We need to recover just a little bit on that short downhill. Now we'll go to 70, but we have just 2k to go. What a stage this is. Schultz and Impey for Mitchelton Scott trying to chase down Gino Marder, but we're gonna take the win. What a stage, what a moment. This is a beautiful win on a beautiful stage here in Portugal. Gino Marder takes the lead of the Volta Portugal, takes stage 4. What a stage this was. That was one of the best stages I have played on PCM. I mean, look at these time gaps. And it was all because Ineos got dropped. Those guys out of the race, out of contention really. Castro, the only man staying around for them. But I'm going to scroll through here. You can see Almeida and Vlasov, my 2 favourites for the GC probably, losing about 2 minutes. And so many other big riders losing time here, with Gino Marder coming out on top. Things don't get any easier with stage 5 and we have a massive mountaintop finish. Can Gino Marder hold on to the GC lead? Look at that. There we go. Gino Marder in the race leader's jersey. Absolutely beautiful. And I think I'll try and go in the break again with Marcus Burkhardt today. He's no real use to us, so we may as well put him up the road because of that terrible mountain stat. I'll see you probably on this first big climb. So I just tried to move with Rutsch. Wasn't possible, but we have so many riders up the road right now and some strong ones as well. The likes of Andreas Leknesson, 70 Mountain, very good rider. And we have 33 riders now at the front. What is going on? Coming into the foot of this climb then, as Vakoc does actually fall, but we have such a big group up the road. This is Vakoc falling just behind, but we still have 38 riders in the breakaway. They have 3 minutes on the peloton. So Team Ineos looking for revenge, and Luke Rowe has been pacing pretty hard at the start of this climb. We're already down to just 50 riders in the peloton as Burkhardt cannot stay with the guys at the front, or not even quite at the front any longer, so we will sit up with him. But yeah, Luke Rowe and Ineos looking for revenge today. So brutal luck for Leknesson, who did just puncture, but at the front we have Quintero just behind these 2 riders, actually from the same team, one attacking each other. Not quite sure about that, but down to 43 riders now with Ben Swift on the front. Okay, and this is very interesting because Theo Gegenhardt attacks over the top of this climb. I'm not sure if we can really respond to that at this stage. We'll let Theo and Fabio Follin go, if nothing else, It makes the stage super interesting. I want to keep Ruch and Schoenberger here if possible, but it seems Ruch going out the back very quickly. Okay, situation coming into the final climb. Gegenhardt and Feline unable to make progress up the roads. We have just a couple riders left in the breakaway, so this one is going to come down to the peloton. Okay, so my tactic entering this climb, Jonas Ruch is just going to tempo. We'll put him to 75. Marder can continue at 65, and we may try some attacks later on with Gino Marder because he is on, of course, a fantastic day here. So Ineos have now wrestled away the front of the peloton away from us, and we're down to 31 riders. That is all left in this group. 8k still to go. I'm expecting attacks from Ineos or maybe even EF or even Astana, the likes of Tejada or Vlasov, of course. Both very good riders, but we'll continue pacing. I think Aliotti can now come to the front. He can protect Gino Marder. We'll pace at maybe 65. Don't need to burn ourselves out too early. We only need to follow attacks. So 4k to go for Gino Marder. I'm actually going to use my gel at this point. We are approaching a very steep section of climbing. Aliotti is going to try and deliver us to that section in the front of the group. I was planning an attack, but here comes Astana racing to the front as Aliotti is done. Maybe this is the moment we could look to attack with Gino Marder. I'm going to try a little one on this section. Only Alex Vlasov attempts to follow Gino Marder at this point, so I'll try and work with the Russian. In fact, he has to try and attack me, of course being behind me in the GC. Almeida trying to follow as well as we approach the final kilometre of climbing. João Almeida tries to steam past us both, but I'm just going to put us up to 90. Can we take this one in a sprint versus Almeida versus Vlasov? I think Vlasov has us. No, he doesn't. Gino Marder takes his second stage win in a row. Vlasov second, Almeida third. What a battle that was. And you can see the scraps coming in behind. This race is so fun, guys, and Gino Marder is performing to the best of his abilities, leading now by almost 2 minutes overall. Break for the GT guys then, as we have a flatter stage today. Okay, the likes of Jules Jensen and Andrea Baggioli working on the front of the peloton because we still have 2 minutes up to the breakaway. I do think though this will come in for a sprint. So break is caught, 12k to go, and no other than the tractor, Tractor Tim Leclerc on the front of the peloton. We have Burkhardt, Zimmerman and Wildauer, who will be our sprint train today. Here we go then, we now have 6.5k to go. We can use our remaining gels as Jonas Ruch putting Marder actually right to the front. I didn't intend for him to come that close to the front of the group. He can now go 90 as Burkhardt up to 99. We do have a very short hill to the finish line, but Burkhardt putting Zimmerman in a great position to try and lead out our sprinter Marcus Wildauer here. We have Alpecin Phoenix going very, very early though. We now put Zimmerman to sprint, 1.4k to go. We're leaving it very late here in Portugal. Can Wildauer come at the last? He's coming through, but Ballerini is going to hold on today. Wildauer will get a nice second place. A very decent sprint, unlucky to lose out to Ballerini. Fun one here today, but Ballerini just too strong for Wildauer. When you look at the attribute difference, Ballerini so strong, Wildauer doing very well to get on the podium. Stage 7 up next, and a very interesting one because depending how this is ridden, we could have a sprint stage or we could have a very select GT day. Only fair today then guys, I think we give Jonas Ruch a go in the breakaway. He's on a nice +2 day. Let's see what he can do. So Ruch up the road today alongside 20 other riders. You can see some of the guys in this group right here. Ruch alongside I think 4 guys from Uno X. So this should be an interesting one. 4 minutes currently on the peloton. Okay, so as we reach this climb, we do now see some attacks from the breakaway. I'm desperately trying to follow these guys because the peloton are just a minute behind now with 30k to go. So important to stay aware in both groups at this stage. Ruch needs to stay with the best guys as we have someone, it's Bergstrom Frisk getting dropped to the front. So I'm going to try and attack past these guys as Gesner tries to block me off, it seems, but let's try and stay to the front as long as possible with Jonas Ruch. So Ruch will crest this first climb just in the lead of the race. He is pretty much done though, so probably worth sitting up and waiting because our leaders, Aliotti and Mard, are really struggling for energy. Oh boy, 1.5k to go to the top of this climb. Everyone in our team is done apart from Aliotti and Gino Marder. Let's zoom in a little bit, and luckily for us the pace does slow, so let's just take position here. If one of our rivals did attack there, we would have been in a lot of trouble. Okay, and now we do have an attack. Petr Vakoc, 5 minutes down in GC, going off the front. Almeida does try to follow, and again, putting us under pressure here are our rivals. So Aliotti is going to have to try and relay on the front, as we now have Vlasov trying to make a move as well. Let's go to 90 with Aliotti, and Marder struggling a lot today. This is not good at all. However, it seems Vlasov has been caught. I'll try and follow Impy, will I? With Gino Marder. Can we get to the South African? Just about, as Aliotti is done for the day. Marder needs to survive this little flat section. Almeida trying to go away. I'm going to pace at maybe 84 over this little flat section. Can we bridge our way to him? Tejada and Dunbar now coming to help us. Luckily, because Almeida stands to gain so far today. Nothing else we can do. Marder has now cracked on this flatter section. Luckily though, we can now go 99 with both of these guys pretty much downhill to the line, and these guys don't have a big lead. 4k to go then. Everything does indeed come back together. Marder can recover in the wheel of Harold Tejada, who is leading us out absolutely perfectly at this stage. I'll follow my Italian teammate Giovanni Aliotti with 2k to go. We'll just try and pace into the line. I've probably gone way too early here, but we can now sprint with Aliotti and Gino Marder. Can we challenge for the win today? We're not going to. Eddie Dunbar trying his best to hold off Ballerini. He just about does it, and we finish safely in the front group. So decent stage just about for us today. We were almost in trouble, but still holding a nice lead in the GC. So then guys, I've been looking at how I can use those final dossier points, and to be honest, I've found some riders, maybe Simon Geschke. The thing is, their interest just isn't there at this stage. So I think we're going to use them on Fabro and Nicola Bagioli. These guys, very good riders, still just 25 the pair of them, and I think they can definitely add something to the team, at least for the next few seasons. So Bagioli accepts this deal worth 7k a month. Hopefully we can afford that, and you can see we have 8k remaining, which does mean we only have 1,000 remaining after that. Not sure we're going to be able to afford Bagioli here. So Matteo Fabro willing to re-sign for 4,000 euros per month, which does still leave us 4 grand. So that means I am going to choose Fabro over Nicola Bagioli. Bit of a shame. I wanted Bagioli. I think he is a better rider. Not quite as good a climber, but much more versatile at sprinting, for example. So it is a shame we're missing out on Bagioli here, but Fabro will be our man for next season again. So this is the reason I've signed Fabro over Nicola Bagioli. We have Davide Pensa right here, 69 rated, 19 years old. Look how well-rounded this man is. As far as I can see right here, no stats under 66, no stats above 71 either, so very well-rounded across the board. Can we bring this man in next season? So we offer Pensa a deal for 3k. We have 4k remaining. I think we can get this done. We'll go 3k and he accepts it. There you go. Davide Pensa will be our final signing for season 2. Very, very excited about Davide Pensa. However, we now have a few final stages to try and hold on to win the Volta at Portugal, and a punchy finish today. Let's get it. Our guys fighting hard, especially Marcus Burkhardt, to stay in the peloton, but we are all still here, 94 riders in this group over the bulk of the climbing now. Here we go then, 8k to go in this one. We come straight to the front of the peloton very easily indeed. We did just have a fall with Tom Scoynes and Harold Tejada. Those guys seemingly coming back in pretty comfortably right there. So 6k to go. I'll use my gels, which may be up to 85. You can see I've got Schoenberger looking after Aliotti. That should be good. But now Jonas Rich slowly up to 90. Let's try and go 90 for now. And no one even challenging us on the front of the peloton. Looking Very, very promising for us at this stage, but a very difficult climb to the finish. And it's a little bit more steep than I expected, as we now have EF coming to the front. Ruch up to 95, Schoenberger making sure Marder is in the prime position as well. He can now go 95, Ruch on 99, Zimmerman up to 99 as Ruch is done for the day. Schoenberger can sprint, Zimmerman can sprint, everyone else can now sprint for the line. Does Wildauer have anything left? Can we take this one? We're not going to take it, I don't think. Baggioli looks good, but now comes Daryl Impey, but Amador through the middle, really close finish here in Portugal, but Daryl Impey holds on for the stage. I think his second of the race. Amador will be second. Quinn Simmons, very strong in third. We end up sixth on the day, but Gino Marder, of course, our priority, staying in the leads. Here we go then, stage 9 of the race now, and we're heading into Braga. This is really an epic race, still in the lead of the GC, and another difficult day on the cards. So we currently have a pretty big break again up the road, made up of some of the smaller teams at the race, but a short gap to the front of the peloton for now. Okay, we have a big moment here. You can see Tejada is waiting. Amador has gone down, but Alex Vlasov, third place in the GC, has gone down for Astana. So Vlasov down, that is big, big news. It's a big gap as well up to the peloton. I'm not really relaying on the front. It's Mitchelton, Scott and Quickstep putting Vlasov in deep trouble. Oh boy, you have to feel for Vlasov here up this climb. He fell at a terrible time. Tejada doing everything he can, but he's definitely not making it back into this group. So we're not far to the top of this climb. We need to make sure our guys are staying right to the front. It's a quick pace by De Koenig on the front, and you can see Vlasov has fought back, but I'm pretty sure he's going out the back right now alongside plenty of other riders. We have Schoenberger who can relay on the front as Carthy and a few other guys try to attack over the top. 7k to go. This should stay all together for a mass sprint. 28 riders are still here. Here we go then, 5k to go in this one. I'm going to put Aliotti up to 99. Try to put Marder and also Wildauer, who's done a very nice job on a minus day to stay in this group. Aliotti trying to relay, trying to keep that gap to Vlasov behind, but we also want to try and challenge for the stage. It's going to be difficult with the likes of Ballerini still in this group. Let's sprint with all our riders now. Marder, Wildauer, can we take it? And I think Gino Marder, with that fantastic downhill, takes another stage win. What a win. What a race he is having. And this race is going even better for us right now. Another stage win then, but if we take a look further down, Alex Vlasov, losing a minute, very unlucky. He is now down to 6th in the GC. The penultimate stage here in Portugal, and one of the Queen stages for sure, because plenty of climbing, a big mountaintop finish as well, and no doubt today that Gino Marder is going to get attacked by Vlasov, Almeida and the rest. Okay, big moments early in the stage because Brent Bookwalter, second place in the GC, is down. His whole team are going to have to wait, but look at the gap. Even Impey, who's currently 4th, is waiting. My words, they really want to get Bookwalter back into that group. We're trying to go in the break today though, as you see with Aliotti and Ruch, so quite aggressive tactics by us. So Bookwalter's back in the peloton, but if we take a look at this group, we do have a pretty strong breakaway. Of course, Harold Tejada is here alongside Aliotti, who is currently 12th in the GC. I think he is the best placed man in the GC in this breakaway, so no real danger of losing the overall GC lead to the break. So this break not really working to this point. It's been such a fast day, and Quickstep are dropping riders already out of the peloton, trying to hunt down this group. They clearly don't want Aliotti, Tejada and the rest up the road here. Okay, so already we have 65k to go. Schoenberger is struggling to stay in this group. Ruch, Wildauer, Zimmerman and Burkhardt all out the back, as we are down to 28 riders at the front of the race. What a final stage this is turning into, and I'm expecting some long range attacks too. Next climb then, and the pace remains so high here. We have Kudos on the front for Astana. Hausen is gone already, 24th in the GC. Very similar stats actually to Brent Bookwalter, but look at this, riders dropping out the back. Marder is right at the back of the group on 80. We're going to have to push this even harder. Okay, and we have had an attack right now as Aliotti struggling to stay in this group, and Marder is going to be isolated, I think, with still 42k left in the stage. We need to continue pushing on, make sure we stay right with Vlasov and Tiada, and you see Amador 10 minutes down in the GC, so not too worried about him, but he is on the move. How steep this part of the climb is as Ben Swift out the back, and we have Vlasov on the move. This is worrying. This is very, very worrying. Vlasov, 3.5 minutes down in the GC. We know how strong this man is. I'm just going to relay, maybe 50. We're not going to panic too much at all. We're just going to try and stay with the Pelson. But Vlasov has a massive lead already. And if he can hit Amador and those guys work together, this is a very dangerous move for us. But out the back is Gagan Hart getting dropped with Castro, Dunbar, Bookwalter second in GC out the back. We have 8 riders here to Yada with Scoins, Vakoc, Sparagli, Carthy, Almeida and Bagioli. We have to hope that Bagioli is going to do some of the work for Almeida and of course Marder, because Vlasov has a massive lead. This is very, very worrying. So the other guys do come back in, and Bagioli has been working so hard in this group for João Almeida, so I haven't had to do too much work at this stage, but 1 minute to Vlasov and a further 30 seconds to Amador. Let's just stay with João Almeida here. So I'm not particularly worried with 10k to go about bringing in Vlasov and Amador, as we have a move now in this group that's up it to 85, but I'm not going to be the man who does all the relaying, because Vlasov 3.5 minutes down. I think we can just about protect that lead, so I'm just going to try and stay in this group, make sure the gap doesn't get too big to Vlasov. As you see, he's really struggling. Vakoc on the attack now, he's 5 minutes down in GC, so as long as we relay at maybe 60, I think we should be good to protect our jersey. So 5.5k to go. These guys have been sat on my wheel, but Hugh Carthy on the attack. I will try and jump in the Brits wheel, and we jump away from that peloton. Almeida forced to do the pacing as Vlasov still up the road. He's about to blow up. Can we just stay with Hugh Carthy? In fact, I'll relay with him at maybe 75 as we have a gap to those guys behind. Vlasov has been caught, but Vakoc and Amador still at the front of the race. I'm happy just to take position again in this group with 3.5k to go. So the pace does slow again in this group. I may take position. In fact, we may swing to the left-hand side of the roads. Gino Marder on the attack here in Portugal. Let's pace at maybe 80, 2.5k to go. Let's try and go 87. Those guys trying to bring me in. Is anyone going to get dropped? Maybe Vlasov after that earlier move. We are now caught by that group behind, trying to drop some of them though. I think we can go like this to the line. I think we're looking pretty good to protect our jersey. In fact, Almeida's dropping, Hugh Carthy is dropping, Gino Marder on unbelievable form at this race. Finally, Vlasov goes. Tiada able to stay with us. Can we go 90, 95 to the line? We're not going to take the stage today. That will be for Andre Amador, just ahead of Petr Vakoc. And I think we can hold on for a very strong third place, retaining our jersey ahead of Tiada. What a ride today by Andre Amador. He deserves that win, attacking from so far out. However, Gino Marder holds a 3.5 minute lead. What a ride this has been. Final stage here in Portugal, and it's going to be a procession for Gino Marder. We know that we've won the GC. Let's enjoy it. Here comes Gino Marder then off the start line, and you can see no one else from our team having a particularly good day, so I've just skipped over them. Aliotti about to finish, and you can see a beautiful finish here in Portugal. Let's just put Marder up to 76. Look at this stage, guys. If you haven't played this race before, I highly recommend it. All the stages are made so well. Second split here for Marder. We've conserved a little energy. Let's see, and we're 22nd, 55 seconds down on Hugh Carthy at the moment. So it hasn't been the best TT by the Swiss Gino Marder today, but he is in the knowledge that he is about to win the Volta at Portugal. What a ride by Gino Marder today, finishing in the end 13th in the TT. So Hugh Carthy takes the final stage here in Portugal, but all about this man as Gino Marder wins the GC here at the Volta at Portugal. We also take the best climber classification just ahead of Amador despite being on the same points. We also take the points jersey pretty comfortably in the end. And finally, we win the young rider classification as well. What a race. That rounds out this race here in Portugal, and guys, honestly, cannot recommend this race enough if you haven't played it before. We end up winning ahead of Carthy and the Portuguese João Almeida in third, Vlasov in fourth. I think he'll be a bit disappointed with that, probably being the pre-race favourite. However guys, that rounds out this episode. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I have enjoyed playing it. Let me know in the comments what you think of the race and of course our transfer season. Cannot wait for season 2 now, and we have just a couple races remaining this year. So guys, if you enjoyed this episode, drop a like on the video, massively helps my channel out. Drop a sub as well if you're new. I will see you guys in the next one.